Hello friends, and welcome to this Lenten reflection on Tuesday of the 5th week of Lent. Presented and produced by myself, Father Tom Casey of the Society of African Missions, otherwise known as the SMA, and from the SMA Media Centre in Ndola. Today's readings are a reminder of what is to come next week, when we will be deeply immersed in the sufferings of Christ. It's not a pleasant part of our Christianity, but is part of our Christian faith. We are being prepared for that by attaching ourselves to the sufferings of Christ. Pope Francis, as we may know, prays the Angelus every Sunday at St. Peter's Square. Many people attend. And I'm quoting now from a sermon he gave on Sunday the 13th of September 2015, and I quote now, "To undertake the discipleship of Jesus means to take up your cross. We all have one. To accompany him on his path, an uncomfortable path that is not of success or of fleeting glory, but one which takes us to true freedom, to that which frees us from selfishness and sin. Jesus invites us to lose our life for him and for the gospel, to receive it renewed, fulfilled and authentic. We are certain, thanks to Jesus, that this path leads us to the resurrection, to the full and definite life with God." End of quote. I have a story about a young boy who is on a journey with his fellow companions, and all of them are carrying their crosses. After some time, the boy that I'm mentioning begins to complain about his particular cross. He complains to God that it's too heavy, and instantly a saw is thrown to him. He cuts a nice piece off the cross and is now able to carry it because it's lighter. But his companions are struggling away on their journey as well with their huge crosses. After some time again, the boy complains to God that the cross is again too large and heavy, and again he's thrown a saw, and he proceeds to cut a sizable piece from his cross. And he is again very happily going on his merry way, with no difficulties at all, while his companions are still carrying their crosses. Then there's a big ravine in the road. A ravine is a narrow, steep-sided valley, commonly eroded by running water. And they all come to its edge and wonder how they are going to cross it, because the drop to the bottom is a long distance, and there is nothing but rocks and a small little river down there. What to do? The opposite edge of the ravine at their level is a small distance across, but it would be impossible for any of them to jump across. Then one of them decides to push her large, long cross over, and it reaches the other side. And now she can cross over to safety on the cross and to continue her journey. Very quickly others follow her example, and all of them push their large crosses across until it reaches the far side, and like the clever girl, they all walk to safety with their particular crosses, which only they can use. But our foolish poor boy, who was cutting his cross down so that he could have no much trouble carrying it, finds that his cross is so small that it cannot reach the other side. So he's left stranded. And what will happen to him? Well, we can only just guess. But no one knows for sure, as he was left all alone, with no cross to assist him. And there is the point. Our crosses assist us on our life's journeys. Avoiding our crosses is similar to finding destructive ways of what we think will make our lives easier and comfortable. Examples: alcohol, drugs, pleasures of the body, useless and destructive literature or pictures and movies that we see on TV or internet sometimes. Having our enemies destroyed by killing or character assassination of them, etc. All those things will lead us to nowhere, only a life empty and with no meaning. Our crosses toughen us for the big challenges in life. The grace of God abounds, and Jesus said, "Blessed are the poor. They have only God as their protector, and who carries them along because they have no one else who can help them. In a strange way, they are the happiest of all." And I quote Psalm 23 verse 4. "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they will comfort me." End of quote. Ultimately, whether you are in death's shadow due to imminent danger or terminal illness, this same Bible passage gives you hope. The author of the psalm knew something that allowed him to fear no evil. Like the psalmist, you too can fear no evil, even in the fearful valley of the shadow of death. Jesus is about to be lifted up on his cross, and death will be all around him. So just as the bronze serpent brought healing and a salvation from death to the Jews in today's first reading, so will the Son of Man bring new life to all who accept him as the Messiah by his death on the cross. And as he says in Matthew 16:24, and I quote, "If anyone wants to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." End of quote. Any comments on these reflections are welcome. Please send to smamediaindola@gmail.com, all lowercase and one word. And I spell out that smamediaindola@gmail.com. Your comments would be most welcome, and they would help me greatly in the writing of these reflections. May God bless you and help you, especially in carrying your crosses. Amen. This is Father Tom Casey of the SMA Media Centre in Dola, ending now and wishing you a happy and joyful Lenten period.